My name is Rosine Dertavitian. I am the current president of Gamma Tau at Large chapter of Sigma. Before we start with the program, I would like us to have a moment of silence in honor of the 3,600 healthcare workers, which includes nurses, who were lost during the COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you. We salute you all and thank you, our heroes, for their tireless service during this unprecedented time of the pandemic. God bless you all. I would like to welcome you to our Spring 2021 virtual induction ceremony of Gamma Tau at Large chapter of Sigma. Thank you for celebrating this special occasion with us. Today's induction will be recorded and available for your view in the future. The Q&A and chat features are open for your questions and comments. As an at-large chapter of Sigma, Gamma Tau is an organized division of scholarly student nurses and nurse leaders from 3 accredited nursing schools in the United States and the state of California. The chapter was officially chartered as Gamma Tau on May 13, 1978, by University of California, Los Angeles, with Dr. Linda Sarna as the Dean of the Nursing School and Marilyn Eitz as the first president of the chapter. In 2007, Gamma Tau chapter chartered CSUN into the society, thus became an at-large chapter under the leadership of Doctors Bonnie Faherty, Martha Highfield, and Ellen McFadden. In October of 2019, the Gamma Tau chapter at large embraced the chartering of California State University Channel Island, which was spearheaded by founding members from the CSUCI, Drs. Karen Jansen and Lynette Lundley, and Dr. Cheryl Lequette, the president of the chapter at the time. I would like to take a moment to introduce you to our chapter leaders and honored guests who are joining us today. Honored guests: Linda Sarna, Dean, UCLA School of Nursing; Rebecca Child, Chair, Nursing Department of CSUN; Lynette Landry, Chair, Nursing Program at CSUCI; Susan Opus, Sigma Region 2 Coordinator; Marilyn Eitz, Founding President of Gamma Tau Chapter; Bonnie Faherty, CSUN Founding Member; and Martha Highfield, CSA founding member as well. Now I would like to introduce you to the Gamma Tau chapter at large board members. Vice Presidents Melanie Cross, Lori Gilardi, and Renee Lazaro represent CSUCI, CSUN, and UCLA respectively. Treasurer Anna Dermentian, Corresponding Secretary Judy Sumner, Recording Secretary Theresa Haley, Counselors Karen Jensen, John Christensen, Sylvia Muir, for the 3 schools, CSUCI, CSUN, and UCLA respectively, and Stephanie Mamanova, Counselor for Leadership. Also, we have Governance Chair Susan Opus, Governance Committee Member Ron Carpio, and Nairi Amirhanian, Membership Ambassador Nora Glassner, Leadership Succession Chairs Cheryl Lequette and Anna Andres, Publicity Chair Patricia Evsala, Research Chairs Naomi Congelo and Vanessa Salem, and other committee members Emily Carlson, Adrian Martinez, Ines Verzemniak, Isabel Purdy, and Kay Baker, who's not pictured. Thank you all for your dedication to Sigma and nursing in general. This time, I would like to call Dr. Cheryl Lequette to introduce to us our keynote speaker.
Good morning, graduates, alumni, faculty, family, and friends. My name is Cheryl Lehuke, and I'm the immediate past president of the Gamma Tau at Large chapter of Sigma. And it's my honor to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Holly Devon. Dr. Devon is a professor and associate dean for research at the University of California, Los Angeles School of Nursing, where she holds the Adrian H. Mosley Endowed Chair in Health. Her research has focused on the multiple aspects of symptoms of acute coronary syndromes, ACS, and her ACS symptom checklist has been used by investigators around the world. She has been awarded more than $7 million in grant funding for her research, and she also received the Fulbright Scholar Award to Rwanda in 2018 and completed a study on the cardiovascular risk in individuals with HIV. She has been honored with several research and writing awards and published more than 100 articles in multidisciplinary journals and written commentaries in several journals as well. Dr. Devon is a founding editorial board member for the Journal of the American Heart Association. Most recently, in 2020, Dr. Devon was inducted into the Sigma Researcher Hall of Fame at Sigma's 31st International Research Congress. Dr. Devon, thank you for your leadership. We are thrilled to have you provide our keynote address. Welcome, Dr. Devon.
Thank you so much, Cheryl, for that wonderful introduction. I cannot tell you what an honor it is to be here. I am so looking forward to meeting everyone in person, because while I was inducted into Sigma when I was a junior in college, which was many years ago, I'm a relatively new member of Gamma Tau at Large chapter. And I'm honored that the leadership invited me today to share some of my research with you. So the presentation that I'm going to give now is unusual fatigue and failure to utilize emergency medical services are associated with prolonged pre-hospital delay for suspected acute coronary syndrome. Next slide, please. So first, I'd like to acknowledge the co-investigators on the study, Ann Rosenfeld, Elizabeth Knight, Mohammed Daya. I could never have done this research without their incredible expertise. And I would like to acknowledge the funding sources. What I'm reporting to you today was funded by NHLBI, and the parent study was funded by NINR. Next slide. So what is the significance of pre-hospital delay? For many of you, especially emergency department nurses, you know that rapid reperfusion of myocardial muscle reduces infarct size and reduces mortality for acute coronary syndrome, but efficacy is time dependent. The time to presentation in the emergency department remains excessive, and patient-controlled pre-hospital delay may be a modifiable variable for intervention. So we like to see the patients get to the emergency department as soon as possible, but certainly within 3 hours, so that we can intervene to reperfuse the heart muscle. And you'll see from our data that most patients don't arrive in that window. And then finally, emergency medical service diagnostic capabilities has expanded greatly around the country. So many fire departments have the ability to do 12-lead ECGs and sometimes point-of-care troponin assays. So the good news is we can begin treating patients at their home if they call. Next slide. So the rationale and the conceptual basis for our study was that emergent reperfusion targets, and that's what we call door to balloon time, was set years ago at 90 minutes or less. So for ST elevation myocardial infarction, this has largely been met with no decrease in mortality. There was actually a study published, a nationwide study published in 2013, indicating that the mean door to balloon time in the United States is now 67 minutes, which is extremely impressive, you can imagine, but it hasn't increased mortality. So this suggests that pre-hospital rather than in-hospital delay is contributing to poor patient outcomes. Next slide. So the purpose of this study was to examine symptom presentation factors associated with pre-hospital delay in patients presenting to the ED and evaluated for ACS. So just to clarify, ACS is unstable angina, non-ST elevation MI, and ST elevation MI. So these are patients that presented to the ED and were evaluated for ACS. Of course, we didn't know on admission to triage whether they were ruled in or ruled out. Next slide, please. Our hypothesis was that symptoms other than chest pain would contribute to longer pre-hospital delay that would vary by final diagnosis. And we hypothesized that because we realized that the lay public is well aware that chest pain or chest discomfort or chest pressure can be a sign of a heart attack. And we also hypothesized that symptoms and pre-hospital delay would vary by final diagnosis. That is, whether the patient went on to be ruled in or ruled out. Next slide. So these were the methods that we used. This design was a secondary analysis of data collected from a multi-center prospective study. That multi-center study actually was ours. So we are well aware of the variables in the study that helped us form the new hypotheses. Our sample was adults presenting to the ED with symptoms that triggered a cardiac workup. And our setting was 5 EDs, 4 academic medical centers, and a regional referral center, very large EDs. Next slide. And this just shows you where the location of the clinical sites where we gathered data in the West, in the Southwest, and in the Midwest. Next slide. The measures we used were demographic and clinical presentation data. We actually used a measure that was developed by emergency medicine to collect data that could be utilized in meta-analyses. And we collected health history. And then we used a 13-item ACS checklist that we developed a number of years ago in preliminary testing. Next slide. So this is the ACS symptom checklist. We affectionately called it the green sheet because we put paper copies in the triage areas in the emergency department. And my research assistant happened to use green paper. So the nurses started calling it the green sheet, and then we called it the green sheet. And you can see the 13 symptoms that were assessed, and we had a line for write-in items. But these 13 symptoms started out as 46 in the early years when we were testing. So these are the 13 symptoms that were most commonly reported in our studies. Next slide. So for our analyses, we measured pre-hospital delay, and we calculated that as the time from symptom onset to arrival in the ED. And if the time of symptom onset in the medical record varied from the time that was given by the patient, then we accepted the patient's time for the analyses. Sometimes they wouldn't be able to remember the time of symptom onset, but sometimes they were very specific in measuring or noting the time. We used an accelerated failure time model to analyze the data. This specifies a direct relationship between delay time and the variables to predict both pre-hospital delay by ACS or no ACS diagnosis. So it's really a parametric model that's similar to proportional hazards, and it tests the effect of a covariate. In this case, it was symptoms and use of EMS as an accelerator or decelerator of a condition, in this case, delay, pre-hospital delay. Next slide, please. So these are our demographic and clinical data results. Our overall sample was 1,074. For this analysis, we had complete data on 975 patients, 62% male, 37% female, 69% Caucasian, with a mean age of 60 years. Now, going back to our rationale for study, we talked about the need for rapid reperfusion, and you can see the median delay time in our study was 6.68 hours. That means half of our study delayed more than 6.68 hours. before coming to the hospital. So you can see they are really at risk of having no treatment other than secondary prevention if they arrive at the hospital that late. Only 26% of the sample arrived within 2 hours of symptom onset. And our primary findings were patients with and without ACS. So those that were ruled in and ruled out, who presented with unusual fatigue or self-transporting, whether they drove themselves to public transportation, someone else drove them. They experienced significantly longer pre-hospital delay compared to those patients who called 911 or did not have fatigue. Next slide, please. So these are our transportation and time of day data. If you click on, please, I have some animation. So you can see there was no difference between the ACS cohort and those who ruled out in mode of transportation. This surprised us a little bit. So they were both equally likely to call, but you can see less than half of the sample used EMS. There was a difference in the time of arrival based on diagnosis. So those patients who were ruled in were more likely than those who ruled out to arrive between 12 a.m. and 6 a.m. in the morning. So there must be something they experienced that we haven't captured, some latent variable that caused them to come to the hospital during the night. Next slide. So our symptoms and delay time data, we found that predictors of shorter delay in those patients with ACS were shoulder pain and lightheadedness, and predictors of shorter delay for those patients ruled out that day, and half of them did have a history of ischemic heart disease, were the presence of chest pain and sweating. So this is a curious finding, right? You may have expected it to be reversed, but for those who were ruled out, they knew that chest pain and sweating was a troublesome dyad of symptoms, and they came to the ED. As I mentioned, patients arriving between the hours of 12 and 6 a.m. with or without ACS had shorter delay times. Next slide, please. So in conclusion, the median pre-hospital delay of 6.68 hours remains excessive, and it's a target for education, public messaging, and policy initiatives. Also, fatigue and self-transport are associated with prolonged pre-hospital delay for patients presenting to the emergency department with suspected acute coronary syndrome. Next slide. So there are some clinical implications, we believe. One, symptom-driven action rather than diagnosis-driven action is critical if we are to be successful in decreasing pre-hospital delay time. So we have decreased in-hospital delay time beautifully and successfully, but we have a long ways to go with reducing pre-hospital delay. And ACS symptoms overlap with comorbid conditions. I think we can all understand why having unusual fatigue confuses patients, because if we were honest, many of us are suffering from fatigue right now. So therefore, patients need to be counseled that's in their best interest to seek care as soon as possible after symptom onset, since effective therapies are time dependent. Next slide. Finally, we think there are some policy implications. Calling 911 can be positively framed at having advanced care come to the individual swiftly. And also policies should reduce barriers to both evidence-based patient education and EMS use. Next slide. So thank you all so very much. Once again, thank you for taking the time to listen to the presentation. I'm so excited to be a member of Gamma Tau, and please do contact me if you have any interest whatsoever in our work. We are always looking for new partners. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Holly Devon, for this educational presentation. Once again, your presentation validates the value of research when we often have concerns of the delay of EMS or 911 calls or fatigue at the workplace. So there's more research that we can definitely do together. I would like to pass the screen to our research chairs, Drs. Naomi Congello and Vanessa Salim, to introduce the Gamma Tau at Large chapter's grant recipients.
Good morning, GTOL leaders, panelists, and inductees. I'm Dr. Naomi Congello, research co-chair for Gamma Tau at Large for Sigma. In my leadership role, I've had the pleasure of seeing 3 nurse researchers become recipients of our 2020-2021 research grants. Just to give you a little bit of background information on our research grants. The purpose of our research grants is to support members of the UCLA, CSUN, and CSUCI Gamma Tau chapter in research activities that contribute to the advancement of nursing. Our next call for research proposals will be October 2021, and we look forward to receiving applications from those of you who are involved in research.
Thank you, Dr. Congello. Good morning, panelists, inductees, family, and friends. My name is Dr. Salem, and I'm an assistant adjunct professor at the UCLA School of Nursing, and I am delighted to serve as co-chair of the research committee. At this time, we would like to invite our 2020 to 2021 grant recipients, including Feng Alice Lee, Dr. Charlene Niemi, and Valentina Obreja to present key highlights of their research. I will first begin by introducing Alice. Alice is a PhD student at the University of California, Los Angeles. Her research is titled Cross-Cultural Adaptation and Validation of Lung Cancer Screening Health Belief Scales. She is followed by Dr. Charlene Niemi, who is an assistant professor at California State University, Channel Islands, and the title of her research study is Meaning, Forgiveness, and Resilience. Do they improve the quality of life in adults? And followed by Valentina Obreja. She is a DNP student at the University of California, Los Angeles, and the title of her research study is Adult Ambulation Protocol for Extracorporeal Membrane Oxygenation in Patients. Let us invite to the Zoom stage Alice first. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Fang Alice Ney, a 5th-year PhD student at School of Nursing, UCLA. I'm very glad to meet you here in this virtual meeting. First, I would like to thank the support from Sigma Zeta Tau. It is their support that makes my research project for my doctoral degree possible. Then I would like to take this opportunity to introduce my research project a little bit to raise the awareness toward lung cancer screening among Chinese Americans. My doctoral degree research project is an instrument adaptation and validation study. It is about the cross-cultural adaptation and validation of lung cancer screening health belief scales among Chinese Americans. Lung cancer is the leading cause of cancer deaths and the 3rd prevalent disease among Chinese Americans. Compared to chest X-ray, lung cancer screening with no-dose computed tomography can reduce mortality rate of lung cancer by 20% in the high-risk population. Since 2013, lung cancer screening has been recommended by most health organizations and covered both by private and public insurance. However, the uptake rate of lung cancer screening is still low in the US, and there are very few studies on lung cancer screening among Chinese Americans. Previous studies indicate that the uptake rate of lung cancer screening was significantly associated with the health belief of lung cancer screening. However, there is no instrument available to investigate health belief of lung cancer screening among Chinese Americans. The purpose of this study is to adapt the lung cancer screening health belief scales to be used in Chinese American population and establish psychometric properties of the Chinese version of lung cancer screening health belief scales among Chinese Americans. In this study, two phases, including instrument adaptation and validation, will be conducted. In phase 1, instrument translation using a back translation approach, expert review among 5 experts and cumulative individual interview with 5 participants were conducted. In phase 2, a cross-cultural survey will be conducted. 270 Chinese Americans who are aged 55 to 74 years old, self-identified as descendants of Chinese, current smoker or quit smoking in the past 15 years, smoked at least 30 pack a year, cigarettes, can read Chinese, will be recruited using a convenience sampling method. The constructed validity coordination, relative validity, content validity, internal consistency, reliability will be analyzed using SPSS. Since currently we only finished the phase 1 of the study and there is still work to do in the phase 2 of this study, the results and conclusions from this study is still pending. But we are positive that this study will provide a tool to evaluate lung cancer screening health beliefs among Chinese Americans, provide potential evidence for healthcare providers who want to design and implement lung cancer screening programs, and eventually help to decrease lung cancer-related morbidity and mortality among Chinese Americans. Thank you for your listening. If you would like to talk with me or have any advice for me regarding the research project, please email me at alice@ucla.edu. Thank you.
My name is Dr. Charlene Nemi. I am faculty at Cal State Channel Islands and at UCLA School of Nursing. I'm a lecturer at UCLA. My project is titled Meaning in Life and Forgiveness, Resiliency. We're still doing data collection. Well, data collection is done, but we're still doing data analysis, and so resiliency is not part of this presentation. But I want to thank Cal State Channel Islands for their grant that I received for this project, as well as the chapter, the Sigma chapter, for their generous grant as well. I want to thank my 4 nursing students that are listed on this project. They were nursing students of mine at Cal State Channel Islands, and they were my research assistants for this project. My specialties are community health nursing and psychiatric nursing, and so my focus was really on how does adverse childhood experiences affect the quality of life in adults. We know that adverse childhood experiences have a negative effect on adults, includes diabetes, cancer, obesity, cardiac issues, depression, other forms of mental illness, high risks of suicide, and also substance abuse. And so addressing these issues, either when they are children or adults, plays a huge factor in the nursing care that we provide. The purpose was to explore the independent variables of meaning in life and forgiveness and see if these don't help adults that have suffered or experiences adverse childhood experiences. We had a total of 424 participants. The inclusion criteria is that they needed to be able to speak or read English, to have lived in the United States, and to be at least 18 years of age and older. We use a third-party recruitment called Prolific, and so they help recruit participants. And so we actually were able to receive 424 subjects within probably 24 hours. And so it went extremely fast. It was an online Qualtrics study. It was a quantitative. We used 4 tools. I received permission from the World Health Organization to use their quality of life tool. We used the original ACE tool, which consisted of 10 questions, yes or no questions, as far as different experiences when they were children, meaning in life, and a forgiveness tool that looked at 2 subscales within forgiveness, the absence of negative. So has the person been able to no longer carry any resentment towards the person that harmed them, and then also presence of positive. So were they able to, think well of this person? And the results that we found, all my research has been in forgiveness, and so I'm well acquainted with the results that can provide. But this was the first time that I really looked at meaning of life and resiliency. So in our results, 71% of all participants had at least one or more ACE. The one or more adverse childhood experiences affected all areas of the World Health Organization's quality of life. And so that looked at physical, mental health, environment, transportation, and all of them were negatively affected. We haven't gone deep enough yet to really look at, the person experienced 4 or more, or between 1 or 2 adverse childhood experiences. So that data analysis is still continuing right now. That we found that meaning in life. So if a person was able to find meaning in life based on their adverse childhood experiences, or find meaning in life and purpose in life with other areas of their life, it greatly improved their quality of life. And so we just need to kind of fish out that at a deeper level. And then forgiveness, presence of positive did not play a factor, was not significant in our research. That we found that the absence of negative, or that to be able to no longer be angry, no longer to be able to hold resentments, kind of to be able to no longer live that negative effect of that abuse, kind of, reliving that constantly, played also a significant role in a person's quality of life. If we look at the conclusion of the study, at least our preliminary results so far, is that people that we care for in a hospital setting with cardiac disease, diabetes, mental health issues, all of those factors, my study of 424 subjects that went out nationwide, 71% had at least one adverse childhood experiences. And so if we can kind of bring that to our hospital setting, is that we really need to look at how does a person's childhood experiences affect their adult health, and what can we do to really kind of assist children that have been affected by it. When we are in a hospital, we only look at that short stay that those patients have in a hospital setting. So what resources can we give them? And as nurses, we are at a prime spot to assist our patients. This is not about filling out a checklist if a person has had experiences, but really kind of diving deeper and being able to help our patients. And so I forgot to mention, we actually use the life course theory, which talks about how the experiences that an adult has throughout their life and how that affects them, as they're going through the life stages. It's used for criminal justice, but we applied it to this study as well. In our practice, we really need to be aware of factors that our patients have experienced throughout their lifetime. And the research, there has been no research with adverse childhood experiences in meaning in life or forgiveness. We do know that resiliency does have a positive effect on people that have experienced ACE, but there has been no studies up to this time in looking at meaning in life and forgiveness. And so as we kind of dive deeper into our data, we'll be able to learn more on how these independent variables will affect a person's well-being. I'd also really like to thank our data analysis that helped us with this. And I want to congratulate all of the students that have gone through pinnings or about to go through pinnings and are about to graduate and be welcomed into the field of nursing. So thank you so much for the grant. Really appreciate it. It enabled me to actually do this research. And so I want to thank you. Thanks, Sarah.
I'm Valentina Obreja. I'm honored to present AP for ECMO, my DMB project. It is known that early mobility and ambulation of ECMO patients decrease mechanical ventilation time, delirium, ICU length of stay, improving physical functioning. Only a few ECMO centers worldwide use a protocol to guide mobilization and ambulation practices. In adult ICU, VA, or VV ECMO patients, how does the use of ambulation protocol affect ECMO patients' clinical outcomes? Compare with historical control before protocol implementation over 3 months. Guided by knowledge to action framework cyclical design with interdependent elements, the knowledge was inquired, appraised, and synthesized in a contextual background, generating the ambulation protocol. FCM was used to introduce AP for ECMO to nurses working in a high dynamic critical care environment. A pilot study was executed to determine the feasibility of implementing an ambulation protocol applied to a prospective ambulating VA or VV ECMO patients 18 years of age or older in a 24-bed ICU from a tertiary and quaternary medical center with ECMO capabilities from the west coast of the United States, compared with historical control group matched for the same dependent variables. As a result of synthesis of literature, AP for ECMO concept was elaborated using a stepwise approach and was applied to 13 adult ECMO patients, representing 28% of patients receiving ECMO for the study period, January to March 2021, in comparison with the not received group, 10% for 2019 and 15% respectively for 2020, as is displayed in Figure 2. There are fewer safety events in the received AP for ECMO group, except for pain. The prolonged neuromuscular blockade and muscular wasting contributed to amplified joint pain on patients recovering from COVID, but still requiring ECMO support. Prospective randomized studies are needed to evaluate the effect of AP for ECMO on patient outcomes. Thank you for your attention.
Congratulations to all the grant recipients, and thank you to the grant chairs. I would like to add that we have within us Dr. Nancy Blake, who is the former research chair of the chapter, and she has served in that role for over 5 years, as well as we have nurse ethicist Elisa Brown, and welcome you both. So let's begin our induction. For more than 90 years, Sigma has been recognizing and celebrating excellence in scholarship, leadership, and service within nursing and midwifery. The honor society known today as Sigma was founded as Sigma Theta Tau in 1922 by 6 nursing students at Indiana University in the United States. From those 6 founding members, our organization has grown to more than 135 active members in more than 560 chapters in over 100 countries around the world. Sigma also collaborates with several global organizations to improve the health of the world's health, including representation at the United Nations. This offers members the opportunity to extend their reach outside of their own communities. We are excited and filled with pride today to welcome our new inductees into our diverse and global membership. Sigma members are leaders at all levels of the healthcare industry. The society only extends membership to students in baccalaureate or graduate level programs who have demonstrated superior academic achievement, academic integrity, and professional leadership potential, and to nurse leader candidates exhibiting exceptional achievements in nursing. Our membership includes top-notch nursing executives, clinicians, educators, researchers, policymakers, entrepreneurs, and others. You are among the distinguished group of nurses, students, and professionals who have met or exceeded the rigorous standards required to receive an invitation to join Sigma, and you truly deserve our congratulations. The leadership and scholarship that you have displayed represent the essence of the society. Together, we are Sigma. Our founders chose the Greek letters Sigma, Theta, Tau, taken from the Greek words meaning love, courage, and honor, as they believed them to be the enduring values that are the root of the nursing profession. Our crest, which adorns your membership certificate, symbolizes these enduring values, reminding us of our commitment to wisdom and discernment, or represented by the I, service, professional endeavor, and strength of leadership as represented by the pillars of stone at the right and left, and knowledge as represented by the lamp. Our key, embedded in the membership pin, reminds us of our charge to uphold love, courage, and honor, and is a symbol of scholarship. The cup denotes the satisfaction of professional life. The circle with its 6 stars represents our 6 founders. The lamp is the lamp of knowledge, and the letters in black represent our charge. Remember that our key symbolizes your commitment to nursing excellence. The purpose of this ceremony is not only to honor you as a new member and celebrate your successes, but it also serves as our pledge to you to support you throughout your nursing career and to be a lifelong resource for you. This support will come in part through the opportunity to participate in Sigma's communities of interests, mentoring, programs, and academics. You will also have access to benefits such as nursing continuing professional development courses, the Journal of Nursing Scholarship, worldviews on evidence-based nursing, and nursing centered. Your induction is not the end, the culmination of your scholarly or professional achievements. Instead, your induction signifies the beginning of your membership journey, the start of your involvement within a global network of peers and mentors who are here to guide and support you wherever your nursing career may take you. Helping us recognize the new members' induction to Gamma Tau at large chapter of Sigma, we will enjoy a slideshow of the inductees with the faculty counselor representatives from each school of the chapter. Congratulations. At this time, we will receive into Gamma Tau chapter at large of Sigma these outstanding new members by reciting the pledge. Inductees, please recite after me from the comfort of your home while I ask the board to join me to recite the pledge. Board members, please unmute your mics. Board members, please recite after me. I accept membership in Sigma Theta Tau International.
I accept membership in Sigma Theta Tau International.
And I pledge to fulfill its commitment.
And I pledge to fulfill its commitment.
Nursing excellence, knowledge, service, and leadership throughout my career.
To
nursing excellence, knowledge, service, and leadership throughout my career.
Thank you. Inductees, board members, you may mute your audio once again. Congratulations to the new Sigma members. Now that you are official members of Sigma, the opportunities to become involved, to grow and develop as leaders and to contribute to the nursing profession are virtually endless. Personally, I have enjoyed the privileges of learning from high-ranking nursing professionals in my local Sigma community, as well as from the international Sigma members. The opportunities have helped me in my career of service, scholarship, and scholarly endeavors. Mostly, I take pride in my professional membership of Sigma, the Honor Society of Nursing. A unique opportunity rises when a nursing supporter, colleague, and collaborator gets nominated and honored as a Sigma member. Dr. Felicia Hodge was nominated by Gamma Tau at Large Chapter's former president and supported by the board to be an honorary inductee of Sigma. I would like to share with you the official letter of acceptance by Sigma President Richard Ricciardi. The letter states, Sigma honorary membership awarded to Professor Felicia Hodge by the Sigma Board of Directors. On behalf of Sigma Theta Tau International Honor Society of Nursing, we are pleased to inform you that the Board of Directors have overwhelmingly voted to induct your nominee, Felicia Shanche Hodge, Doctor in Public Health, as an honorary member. Honorary status is conferred by the board on those who demonstrate superior achievement in a chosen field and a commitment to the ideals and concerns of nursing. Honorary members will be recognized during Sigma's 46th Biennial Convention, November 6 to 10, 2021 in Indianapolis, Indiana, USA. Honorary membership will be presented to your nominee during the tribute luncheon on Sunday, 7th of November. Congratulations, Dr. Hodge. Each of you will experience membership in your own way. In fact, Sigma membership is an experience that is yours to design. I hope you will make use of the many opportunities that memberships has to offer. Not only do you have the opportunity to be involved locally, but there are opportunities to participate in this global organization on a regional and international level as well. Each biennium, Sigma installs a new president at the international level. At the 46th Biennial Convention, we proudly installed Richard Ricciardi, PhD, CRMP, FAAMP, FAAN, and introduced him as the 33rd Sigma president. Each president presents a call to action to help guide members and chapters as we strive to fulfill the Sigma mission. President Ricciardi's call asks us to infuse joy into all we love. All healthcare workers face challenges that can trigger burnout, such as staffing shortages, instability or violence, lack of control in the workplace, barriers to education, and misaligned policies and regulations. Instead of viewing these issues as unsurmountable and inevitable, he asks us to seize the opportunity to improve our experience and work cultures. As Sigma members, we are well positioned to infuse joy into practice in clinical, administrative, research, and policy setting. President Ricciardi's call to action highlights 3 essential elements: the ABCs that promote joy, awareness, balance, and purpose, and co-creation. Awareness includes a clear understanding of the knowledge, skills, and abilities needed to fulfill our professional responsibilities and achieve our goal. When we are competent, confident, and have mastery over the work, joy can flourish. Achieving balance and purpose requires us to make time for creativity and serendipity, mindfulness and rest, activities that foster health and well-being, as well as gratitude, service to others, and philanthropy. Co-creating includes relationship building, using team science, recognizing interdependencies, having a shared mental organizational model, take pride in one's work, and instituting policy initiatives to support a joyful organizational culture. As competent, confident nurses acting with balance and purpose, we can make the next step to infusing joy. I would encourage you all to learn more and participate in fulfilling President Ricciardi's call to action by visiting Sigma's website, sigmanursing.org. The website includes activities for members in chapters that are designed to help infuse joy in our work. Once again, I want to congratulate and welcome our newest Sigma members. We welcome you into this prestigious and global network of nurses working every day to change lives and advance healthcare. On behalf of Gamma Tau at Large chapter of Sigma, I wish you all a happy Nurses Week. I want to encourage you to stay connected with upcoming Gamma Tau at Large chapter activities by visiting our website and social media links, which are available for you on the screen. And they will be available for you as well in the chat. As we conclude our ceremony, I want to take a moment to recognize and thank all who joined today's event to celebrate this special occasion. My special thanks goes to Gamma Tau at Large chapters past presidents, webmaster, the Spring 2021 Induction and social media committees. My sincere appreciation goes to the UCLA School of Nursing Alumni Relations Director, Jonathan Adrias, and to the UCLA Development Events Team, Justin Lovett, Toyin Ogunleye, Eduardo Ponce, and Cindy Tersois. They were the group working behind the screen, helping us put this together. Their expertise and contributions to the event is well appreciated. Their orchestrating of this virtual induction behind the curtain helped us achieve and make history today. This concludes our Spring 2021 virtual induction ceremony.